mouths and your brain's going.
Straight bugging.
All right, so welcome you guys.
What's up,
We got the four heads with us today. We got Tanner and Dylan.
What's
How
up?
you guys doing?
So good.
Well,
Good deal. How's your day so far?
pretty good.
Normal day.
I
Not
pretty
too
much
bad.
just started it. I
Yeah?
start pretty
What time do
late.
you go to school?
I actually start school at noon because I'm kind of taking a really relaxed semester right now.
Nice. That's
So,
sick.
I hate this kid.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, what degrees are you guys going into?
music education.
Yours education, okay?
Music performance.
Performance. Cool. So I guess what type of careers are you guys looking to get into with those degrees?
Well, I'm focusing on high school band education.
Okay.
So preferably in like a school that has a marching arts program because I do a lot of marching.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Good deal. What about you,
I'm
Tanner?
just trying to get a job.
Just trying to get a job. Yeah, that's me too. I'm
Just
going
kidding.
for the performance and
Yeah.
like, whatever I can get my hands
Just
on
don't
after.
play, man.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
That's how I feel, so.
Exactly. Oh man. All right, let's see here. What else? Just got out of jazz band.
Yeah.
Went pretty
It's
good.
bopping, man.
It's
Yeah.
bumping right now.
Honestly,
Seriously.
It's a good set list. I really
Yeah.
like a lot of the music.
Yeah, I wish we had more trumpet players and even trombone players too. Like
Yeah.
I do
compared to last semester, like we
We had
didn't
solid
have as
last
much.
semester.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how's your schedules? Is it tough? Like I know you said yours is kind of lax.
Yeah, this semester is pretty relaxed, but like last semester and the semester before were both like incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah,
a
for
lot.
sure.
The problem I think with the music program, and it's not just at Dixie, it's like across the whole nation, is like that the standard is really high, but then they don't really give you the resources to actually meet that standard. So you really have to push yourself to meet those standards all the time.
For sure, for sure. I mean, and that's how I feel about the scheduling aspect of it. Because I mean, walking out from high school, coming to here, like I knew I was gonna be busy, but I didn't think I was gonna be this busy. I mean,
Yeah.
to go to school full time to get your 15 credits, to be able to keep a scholarship like that is tough.
It is tough.
It's been throwing me through a loop for sure.
For
What
real.
about you?
This semester, not so bad. I'm only taking 15 credits this semester. Obviously, to keep scholarship, that's what you
Yeah,
gotta do.
for sure, for
I
sure.
took 18 last semester and 23 the semester before,
23.
and I wanted to die.
Oh my gosh, were you
It was
working at the
hard.
time
And
too?
I was
or-
also working at the time.
Oh man.
Yeah, we actually work together.
Yeah, we work together. Same job.
Oh, good deal.
Luckily, we only work part-time.
Mm-hmm.
Makes
And
it nice.
Our boss
And our
is
boss
amazing.
is chill.
Good deal.
So he works really well with us. If we have homework we got to do or something, or a concert or whatever, he's like, yeah, don't worry about it,
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And so he makes life a lot easier than it would be if we were working like another normal job. Because we
Yeah.
work in, I guess you could call it the music industry,
Yeah.
in a sense.
I'd say we work in the media industry.
Media
Yeah,
industry
because you
is
guys
a
move
good-
audio around, right?
Yeah,
Is that the
Yeah,
company?
and
that-
we also do filming
Filming.
and audio recording as well.
Oh, really?
So we're
We
a full
have-
recording studio plus
Oh wow,
audio digitization.
that's cool.
Mhm.
I didn't know you guys
And so-
did that part of
Yeah,
it
so
too.
it's pretty chill. You
Yeah,
can,
that
like, work
part
whenever.
isn't quite like there yet. Like it's still
Mhm.
growing,
Yeah.
but we definitely do that all the time. Like yesterday, you were editing a video.
An interview with
I'm-
Neurologist.
No, the guy that works with neuropathy. I don't know what you call that.
Neuropathologist.
No, something like that.
Something like that.
Anyways, and it was just like, and it just sat there for a couple hours editing this video, and it was chill.
That's sick.
So
That's cool.
It's really, really lax job, and so I think it makes the school environment a lot easier. You can really focus on your schooling because he knows that it's important, and he knows that we're musicians, and he knows how stressful the music industry is. He was before he came here, or not came here, before he started his business, he was full-time rock and roll man,
Yeah, he was
Oh,
a
shoot.
professional bass player.
Oh, good
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
Good
and
deal.
traveled. He toured around the United States for a while doing that, and so he gets the whole musician life and how it's stressful, and so he really helps out.
Cool. So did
That's-
he get a degree at all, or was he just playing?
Yeah, actually, I believe he has a degree in media studies.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. But nothing to do really with the music.
Yeah, I think he
Aspect of
took
it.
some music classes, but his main focus was in media.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
He's a really good filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
Really, like he knows exactly what shots to get, to make
Nice.
things cool, and so it
Good
really
deal.
shows that his degrees
Yeah, for sure.
strong through.
For sure. That's sick. So how many hours do you think you work in a week? Is it kind of random? Does it usually stick to like maybe we'll come in a couple
I
days a
mean,
week?
I aim for 20,
Yeah.
but it's usually about 14 to 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depends on the week.
Yeah.
We have like set schedules, but
Yeah, like I've had weeks where I've worked like 30 hours.
yeah, there's been
just
weeks when we're trying to crunch a project out,
Mhm.
Oh,
get
okay.
it done. But then like I don't know, yesterday I went into work and he's like, we really don't have anything for you to work on, like, and I was like, okay. He's like, well, I guess you could edit this video, and I was like, sick. And so
so it fluctuates.
it
a lot.
depends.
Yeah.
It depends on
That's
the,
cool.
the workload. Yeah.
That's cool. So how does that affect your homework? Because I know.
Are my professors gonna see this? 'Cause
Hey man, it's just maybe.
Actually, depending on how the workload is at the time, if we are digitizing, we are able to actually work on our homework at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So, but if we're editing, it's
a little more
that's
difficult.
Our focus. Yeah. So
when stuff is exporting, you have a few minutes normally.
Yeah.
That you can, if you need to work on something or whatnot, you can throw it in. But I feel like work doesn't really affect my school life much.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I normally have time to work on my homework, get my schooling done before or even after work,
and because of how relaxed Robert is, he's super cool with, like, if we need to get something done, he's like, you take off if you need to. Like,
good deal.
You can be pretty short notice with him, and he's pretty okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
We try not to be, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, for sure.
But he's pretty good with it. But I feel like any other job, I feel like it'd be more difficult just because, especially with being a music student, you have concerts come up all the time. Like today in class, Dr. Smith, our band director, he said the athletic department contacted us and they want us to be there to film a video with them from 7 to 9 on this date. And I feel like any other job, you'd have to like stress about, I got to get that night off kind of thing. But us, we're like, hey, like we can't be here this night. And he's like, oh, cool. Or there's been times before Dylan worked there when it was just Chris and I, we would just be like, hey, we have a concert tonight, like we can't make it. And he's like, cool, where's it at? I'll stop by.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And so it's super chill, but I feel like in any other job it would be hard.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, from my position, like I'm a cook over at a restaurant, and our team's pretty stacked for right now. But yeah, any other time of the year, like in the past years that I've worked there, trying to get a day off where it's like, I have something coming up next week. It's like, well, I can't really do anything for you unless someone's willing to come in for you. So yeah, that's cool. That's cool that you guys have that opportunity.
It is really nice.
It's very fortunate that we get to work there because honestly, I don't know how I would be able to do anything without being able to work there.
Yeah, it's nice.
For sure. So does that cut into your practice time as well, or is that a lot like how it is for your homework?
Sometimes we're able to practice, but I usually don't practice there because the walls with our neighbors are pretty thin. Like you can hear people talking in the next unit over. And so generally I avoid playing just so we don't annoy our neighbors. Sometimes we'll pull out guitars because we have actually a lot of guitars spread throughout our shop.
We jam.
Nice.
But usually when I practice, I actually come to Dixie and practice.
Okay, yeah. That's how it is for me too, I can't play in the kitchen,
You should though.
Yeah.
You should just set up a little hat,
Oh, there you go. Yeah, just stand on the table.
Yeah. I bet people play.
I'm
just practicing.
Oh man. So yeah, let's see here. Okay, so what was high school like for you, and how has that impacted your experience here at college?
We actually went to high school together. So,
okay, cool.
We have
very
a long history.
similar.
You guys are from here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We went to school just right around the corner at Snow Canyon.
Good deal.
I felt like our music teacher, he was pretty good, pretty active. He let us play a lot. I mean, he probably has the most active music program in the area.
Yeah.
Okay.
At one point, I think one year we had almost 100 performances in 1 year.
Oh man.
It was
at least.
That's nuts.
Because our Christmas season
was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. We would normally be performing every day because we would perform at veterans' homes and retirement communities.
Ward dinners,
stuff like that.
Oh wow.
Other things like that.
And and that's not just for the jazz band. That's for the marching band, pep band.
We didn't really have much of a marching band.
We
had a
much
parade band, but we did maybe 4 parades a year, and it was pretty pathetic.
I felt most of the core music, like symphonic band, orchestra, marching band, symphonic choir kind of a thing. They kind of just did the basic things 2-3 concerts a semester, that kind of thing. But we had a really good jazz band in Madrigals at our high school. Like that was like where our band director, I feel like he shined through because he directed everything.
Oh,
there was nothing.
Oh wow!
He
so he was a choir director.
He was a choir director, orchestra, band. He did everything.
Good job.
I don't know how he did it, but he did it somehow.
Yeah, he's actually retiring this year.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
And
but
it's,
oh yeah.
But I
he
felt like
needs to.
Yeah, but I felt like
been
he
working
definitely
on
shined
that.
through Jazz Band Madrigals because that's where he put most of his time. And then we were the ones that always had like 8 performances a week, 5 performances a week. You know, we'd be performing every night, and he'd be like, "Okay, well, Madrigals has a performance too, so like you guys are just gonna be on your own, just what to do."
So he wouldn't even show up to some of the.
Sometimes, yeah, there was a few times like that where we just had to lead ourselves, and I think that he did a great job of training us to do that.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know about Dylan, but I really loved high school. I'm unlike most kids. I enjoyed high school. I'll be honest. I'm one of those weirdos. But I think it had a lot to do with Terry Moore. He's our band director. We call him Terrence. So if I say Terrence, that's what I mean. I owe a lot to Terrence. He really got me to like the musician I am because I actually hated playing trombone. I play trombone. We should get that out. I play trombone. This dude plays saxophone and trumpet. Okay, we're gonna get that out right now. I hated playing trombone the first few years that I played it. It was rough. I did not like it until I got to like end of middle school, beginning of high school, when I started to get to like see jazz band and see Terrence like show us what could be possible if we were willing to put in the time. And like that's when I started to grind and start practicing like 2+ hours a day. And I think he's really the reason that I'm majoring in music this day, because he really was like, if you put the work in, like great things can come from this. Because nobody really told me that before, you know? Like people like if you practice you'll get better, but I never really like if you practice like you'll get good, you'll get gigs, you'll get paid, and you'll love doing it kind of a thing. And he's the one that really showed me that like I could do that. And so I feel like high school really shaped me to want to do this. So that's at least my experience. It could be, it's different for everybody, but that was mine.
Yeah, mine was pretty similar as well. That's why I'm continuing. I know some people didn't like that vibe because it was a much more intense sort of like, it was almost like we were professional musicians, except we weren't getting paid. We were just getting all of the benefits.
We got food a lot.
Yeah, we got food.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. We traveled a lot.
Disneyland like almost every year. Every year, actually. Disneyland every year. Salt Lake every year, I think.
It was just really cool because like we got to do all these performances. We became like pretty recognizable in the community. We had like uniforms that were like very unique to us. We had like the green jackets, like very Glenn Miller-esque, and it was really cool. It was to be able to be a part of that, and it was like, well, this is what it's like to be a professional musician, except for we're not getting paid. Like, but we're gigging, we're traveling, we're being a part of this. I mean, when we went to Disneyland, like we were invited to come back just because they liked our band.
On a special invitation.
Yeah, and performed on their main stage. Like, it was really cool to be a part of those experiences. And, like, I don't think you really get that at a lot of other schools because
for sure
it's just too hard.
Yeah, I mean, I went to school here too, you know, but I didn't go to Snow Canyon. I went to another school.
I'm sorry.
But even watching, like, after you guys graduated and it was finally my time to really be involved in the jazz band, like Snow Canyon was probably the best school as far as the jazz bands in the area. And like, like you were saying, you guys, you could definitely tell that you were putting in a lot of time and effort into it, where my school, like, it wasn't really forced on us, I guess. Like, we weren't required to do our best and like put in work after jazz band, you know? So and I think that really hurt us in a lot of ways, you know, especially when it came time to who's going to qualify for state, because we never qualified for state, like even probably when you guys were in high school too, like just wasn't a solid group, you know.
We always qualified, and I never really felt like we didn't think we were going to qualify. It was more for us about like the individual awards, like
best section,
superior section, and
soloist
like
kind of thing.
My first 2 years we got all except for the first year we got all except for rhythm section. The second year it was all except for saxophone section, which very much upset me. But my third year, I think they changed the format of things, because the third year the only section we got was saxophones, which was kind of odd for us because we were like, oh, like we're used to getting like multiple awards, and this time we only got one.
It's because they knew we were so good. Yeah. They didn't want the other schools to feel bad.
I honestly think that was really what it was that we were getting all of the awards, and it was kind of looking really pathetic for some of the other schools. So
Desert Hills has been looking pretty good these past couple of years.
Yeah.
They were super good before, like, my sophomore year. They were insane.
Yeah.
I don't know how we won some of those best section awards because, like, you'd listen to them. And even Cedar High's band. They're insane.
Yeah.
They're so good. Like, I would listen to them sometimes and be like, there's no way we win, kind of a thing, you know? And it got better as time went on. I was like, okay, like, I now see that we're pretty good. But it seemed like as I got older in high school, it was just like the other competition was like,
Oh, yeah.
They just kind of went down. It's almost like they saw us. They expected us to win, so they didn't do as good. Because it's like, oh, we can't win. We can't beat Snow Canyon. Like, why should we try?
Yeah.
That's kind of like, it felt like that at times. Like, are they even trying? Like,
yeah. Where I think we set the standard so high that was like, in our region, it was just too high for a lot of other schools to reasonably meet when they're like dealing with so many financials and politics with this area. Because a lot of the high school teachers, it's like, most of them are barely able to keep their programs running, nonetheless run theirs at the efficiency that we had ours at. And so, yeah, it was pretty hard for them to actually meet that standard. And then meanwhile, when we would travel to state, it was like, we took 12th at state.
We did
like,
not do good at state.
It was...
Granted, it's against every other band in the state.
Yeah.
So, like, 6A bands, 5A bands,
Yeah.
4A bands. Against us, it was a 3A band.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
So that's not too bad then.
Yeah, it's not horrid. I wish we would have done better.
Well,
but
everyone wishes they would have
that's
done
true.
better.
Yeah.
But it was still good, you know, good to see those bands get some inspiration from them, you know, seeing how good some of them played the same songs as us, and you're like, man,
For sure.
how are they so good?
Yeah. And, like, when you hear, like, some of the soloists, that was, I think, the big thing, because at our school we didn't have a theory program, so a lot of people didn't know how to solo because they didn't really know how to read chords. And then you go to state where pretty much every school up north has, you know, theory programs. Everyone knows how to solo at least a little bit. And it was like, wow, these guys are good.
Yeah.
Like, their soloists are phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, and that's coming from a guitar player's perspective, especially down here where, like, every jazz band usually only has one guitarist. It's like, you look at someone, it's like, oh my gosh, they're just blowing it out of the water right now. Like, so I definitely see what you're saying.
And I also think that hurt us coming into college. Because I know that my first semester, you had to take a placement test to see where in the music program you got, whether you had to go to fundamentals or theory 1. And I was so freaking scared, man. I was like, I don't know nothing. I don't know anything.
Yeah, they don't teach theory down here.
They don't teach theory down here. And so, I don't know, somehow I must have just guessed my way through the test. I got placed in theory 1.
Yeah, I did not.
And somehow I must have crossed my fingers a little harder than he did. But I feel like it put us at a disadvantage. And I know that I was going to audition for BYU, the music program at BYU. And I actually chickened out of my audition. And I feel bad saying that. But it's because you had to take an oral skills test, like interval test and like a theory test, and I was scared. I didn't do it, so I just didn't show up to the audition, and I feel bad admitting that. But I feel like if we would have had that set up in high schools here, you know, maybe not a lot of people down here are going to major music because the music scene isn't huge, but like there's a few of us that do it, and
there's a good amount.
We're hurt because of the music program isn't up to where it should be, you know. Like I'm glad I'm not at BYU. I'm glad that I'm here because of other experiences that I've had, but if I could have made that audition, I could have, you know, and so, but I feel like that hurt me in a sense, and I was farther behind than other people.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and that's how I feel as a guitar player compared to horn players, because, you know, they're, as far as college is concerned, like, when you play a horn, you usually go through, like, arpeggios and things like that, so I feel like that makes your soloing better, where for guitar players, like, I see a scale before I see an arpeggio, which I feel like that puts me behind the rest of you guys who are in jazz band, because, like, yeah, all my solos end up sounding the same.
Except for this man's definitely the best solos.
Yeah, honestly, it's like you and Isaac right at the top, and then everyone else.
My solos sound the same though. It's like, I don't know.
You're doing something right.
I look at solos in the same light usually. Yeah. So that's why they tend to sound the same. You know. Which makes sense. So I mean, I just need to get away from that, and that's my goal by the end of college, is to be able to, you know, do other things. Yeah. So what about your parents? What did your parents think about getting a degree in music?
Well, my parents I don't think my dad ever even went to college, and my mom was just a nurse, so it wasn't like she went to like extensive schooling or anything. So the standard really wasn't like I was expected to be like a doctor or anything like that. Neither of my brothers went to college, so it was like the fact that I even went, they were pretty excited about. And then when I told them that I was going into music, they were actually like really excited about that because they're like, wow, you know, he clearly loves music.
Yeah.
He gets
something that he's good at types.
Yeah, and it's like, this is what he has been doing for the past couple of years. Why shouldn't he continue it? And so it was like, I got a lot of support personally. Yeah.
Good deal.
I don't remember what my parents said. I was in music education at first when I first started college, and I decided not to do that. That is not my desired career path anymore. But my parents were pretty supportive with music education. They thought I'd be a good music teacher. And when I broke the news to them that I switched to music performance, my father was not the happiest man in the world. He worked in finance for a long time, and so he is very concerned money-wise.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't see the money in music performance, which I get. I also don't see the money in music performance. But my mom's all for it. My mom, obviously my parents both think I'm pretty good. And so they're like, okay, like whatever you want to do. I mean, I think that they want the best for me at least. And so they're pretty supportive, you know. They've paid for all my instruments, so so good for them. But they're really supportive, you know. They know that this is what I want to do, and they're like, they always suggest other things like, oh, like you could like, you know, get like a second degree in something else that you could do full time, you know, make money doing this and just do this on the side, you know, like, but if you want to do this, like, they're always like trying to, you know, just do what's best for me, and I think it's awesome. But they're really supportive in my music. They come to all my concerts. They bear me practicing every night at 11 p.m. when I get home from work and I need to practice some more. They listen to me, put up with me, I guess. But they've been a big help.
That's cool.
They've
Good
been
deal.
keeping me going. So
nice. So what's been good about college so far? You guys are both sophomores, so you have that year and a half under your belt. Yeah.
I honestly really love Dixie's music program. I think because it's not like insanely massive like you would get at like University of Utah or BYU or some of those bigger schools. Like, because it's a little bit smaller, you kind of know everyone in the department, and you get to really be a part of all these really cool groups, and there's not a whole lot of competition. It's just, you know, how do we build each other to get to the higher level? And that's what I like, where it's like I hear about other stories. Like, I think when we were at UNC, they were telling us about how, like, your first year, you don't even get to be a part of the actual music program. Like, you have to study your generals for the first year before you can actually be a part of the music program. I think you can be in band, and that's it.
What is UNC?
University of Northern Colorado.
Oh. Wow. So you wouldn't even be playing for the first year then?
Yeah.
That's
like,
crazy.
barely, yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Well, because here, like, you don't really even have to... Well, I guess you have to audition, you know.
Yeah.
But that's for, like, to get money.
Yeah. You just audition for more money and for chair placement.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
I know we have a student here, Chris. I mentioned him earlier. I don't know if anybody knows Chris. Shout out.
We know Chris.
Shout out Chris. Love you,
Chris.
He went to BYU for a semester, actually, studying saxophone. And because I was debating going to a bigger school, going to BYU. I think if I would have auditioned, I think I could have gotten into BYU or University of Utah or whatever. But I talked to him, and he was the one that actually changed my mind because he said up there he was like 17th best saxophonist there. And
Chris?
Yeah, right? You know Chris, you know he's good.
Yeah, he's nice.
And so in his mind it's like, so he's not in any top bands. He's not in Synthesis, the best jazz band. He's not even in the second best jazz band. He's in like the fourth ensemble, you know, kind of thing. He's getting like no gigs. Whereas down here, he's in Rebel Jazz Band. He's getting the gigs. People will call him up, say, hey, we need a saxophonist, we need a clarinetist, can you come play, kind of thing. And so that's what really made me. Everybody here already knows me. I had already been studying from Dr. Francis, the trombone teacher, for a little while, and so he already knew me, knew my skill level. And so it's like, here, I'm already known. I already get gigs. People call me because I need a trombonist when, you know, other people aren't available. They know me. And like Dill said, like how it's small and it's just like such a compact group of people, you know? Like you're in the same classes with every single person.
Yeah.
Same person I'm in class with, my 9 a.m. class is in my 2 p.m. class kind of thing, you know? And so it's like you all get to know each other and you all form that bond. And yeah, we don't have the best band. Yeah, we don't have the best greatest musicians here, but
like we are like lacking in like high brass, like you said, where we're missing trumpets and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we're still trying to bring in more people, but I don't necessarily want it to explode.
Yeah.
But we also just became a university like 7 years ago. You know,
Yeah.
we haven't been a
we
university for long.
just went D1
And we just went
last
D1.
year. You know?
And so it's like we're not even that big yet, but we're definitely growing. I've definitely seen growth in the 2 years that I've been here. A lot more people have been coming here, and I think it's good.
And St. George alone too has been like
growing huge.
nuts.
I think Dixie is
up.
one of, or I know that St. George is the biggest growing city
per capita
in the United States
Yeah.
right now, and Dixie I think is the biggest growing campus and student population in the state right now, and you can definitely see there's a lot more people on campus, and I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, they're building us brand new buildings like every year.
There's
like we're in this buildings that we're in right now has only been up like what 4 months.
Yeah, it's pretty.
If that.
Yeah.
And it's really nice, and but I think it's helping. And, and I think that coming to Dixie is a great idea, because you get real world experience. You learn from world-class musicians that are just as good, if not better, than any other institution in the United States. A lot of people think, oh, Dixie's a smaller college, worse teachers kind of thing. No.
It's basically a community college.
Yeah, kind of.
Well, it used to be a community college.
That's how it started, but not anymore.
And growing up here, I'm sure you guys can relate. Like, it was a community college, so then showing up to it, it's like, this still feels like small.
Yeah, it still has that feel to it.
Yeah,
which
like
I love about it. I really like that.
Yeah, I was really hesitant towards coming here. I was initially planning on going to University of Utah. Like, I even talked with Dr. Smith, and I was like, I just don't want to come here. And he convinced me. He's like, give it a shot, you know, like come try it. And I'm so glad I did, because I was like thinking that it was just gonna be a terrible program, but then I actually I sat in on a couple classes, and then I actually came here for a semester, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to switch.
Yeah,
I love it here.
Yeah, for sure. So what's been bad about the college?
I mean, there's obviously not having the same skill level of musicians. Like, it's not very consistent with the skill level, where like you'll have people in an ensemble where they're incredibly talented, and then within that same ensemble you have people who are still trying to figure out how their instrument works.
Yeah.
So that part is a struggle, and that's why we're, trying to recruit some better players and stuff. But besides that, like,
That's really bad.
there's not really bad experiences.
Except that one time Glenn got fired. That was bad.
Yeah, that was a little before my time.
But that's a story for not right now.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, I don't think there's been anything bad.
Yeah, honestly.
We've had great experiences. We've met world-class musicians here,
Yeah.
They have the St. George Jazz Festival every year,
Yeah.
where they bring in the top jazz musicians in the world.
Yeah, I mean, you not only bring them in, but you get to meet them, and have conversations
have
with
a
them.
little workshop with them.
Yeah, like a couple years back when Eric Marienthal was here, he gave me his email and stuff. Like,
oh, that's cool.
It was like, you don't really get that experience when you're going to these giant schools where it's like, oh, well, they're playing in front of these giant crowds. They're not going to notice me, but because they're coming here and they're playing for smaller crowds.
Yeah, and there's 7 people in the room.
Yeah, and we get these little workshops with them, and we get to sit in on their rehearsals. It's like, we get a chance to actually work with them.
You know the theme from Monsters, Inc.?
Yeah.
At the beginning, you know the theme? You know the trombone solo in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing? That guy is in my cell phone. I have his number in my phone.
Wow.
From the Jazz Festival. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying, dude.
Wow, shout out to...
You know his name?
I don't know his name.
You know his name?
I have no clue.
You're lost.
You're not even going to tell.
I'm just kidding. It's
Ouch.
Andy Martin. Andy Martin.
Andy Martin.
Andy Martin. He's a good guy. Great guy. It's like, no, you don't get to know.
Oh, man. I mean, for me, the scheduling's been tough for me, seriously.
Yeah.
That was something I didn't expect coming out of high school, was like I said earlier, I knew I was going to be busy, but I didn't know I was going to be this busy, and trying to work a part-time job at the same time to be able to pay for college. That's tough, and that's a whole other circle that you're just trying to fight off, you know?
Yeah.
So what are some things that you weren't expecting coming out of high school, going to college?
Well, like I said, coming here, I wasn't expecting to love it here. I was expecting maybe I would stay for my associates and then I would transfer. I didn't expect to love it so much here, but then also I wasn't expecting how again, how close this community is. Like, I've made so many friends. Like, me and Tanner, we went to high school together. We saw each other all the time, but we didn't really hang out. We didn't talk too much. Even though we spent most of our day together, it was like I mostly hung out with the saxophones. And in high school, like, there was a lot of that, like, clique vibe, where it was like, even within your own band, it was like the saxophones hung out with the saxophones.
Brass is still better, but it's fine.
Yeah, like, brass did their thing, and it was like no one really, like, interlinked. Like, they would talk, hang out and stuff, but, like, in the end, you would always separate into your sections, and then you wouldn't talk. And I felt like when we came here, it was like, oh yeah, you're in your section, that's the instrument you play, but who cares? Like, you're that's just what you play.
We're all in the jazz band.
Yeah. We're all one band, one sound.
One band, one sound.
Happy family.
Yeah, so, like, I wasn't expecting, like, how close I was going to get with, like, various people. Like, I was expecting only to hang out with the saxophones, but then that was really quickly, like,
then you found out that they're all weirdos.
That's true. As a saxophone, I will say, we are all weirdos.
I think one of the biggest problems I have is just the scheduling conflict. There's a lot of classes I want to take that are at the same time as other music classes that I need to take for my major. So it's like, do I not take jazz band, which is my favorite class, to just take this other class that I need? Or do I just wait and postpone that class and take jazz band because I want it? And that's honestly what I've ended up doing, is because, like, that's all you have time for.
Yeah.
And so I feel like the downside of having a smaller college is they don't offer as many classes. You know, they offer one theory class every 2 semesters, you know. And so I think it makes it a little hard. Like Dylan, he was in the music fundamentals class the first semester, then took theory 1 the next semester. I think you were in the same boat. No? No, JK, I lied. And then had to wait an entire semester to take theory 2 because they didn't offer theory 2 in the fall.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think
that's what happened to Mari.
Yeah, Mari had the same thing.
She was in my group,
Same group.
where it was like, we want to progress, but we literally are just stuck at this wall where we follow.
Because they don't offer theory 2.
Yeah.
And I think that hurts a lot of music students. But it's like that all across campus, you know? Like, I needed to take calculus, and the only time they had it was the same time as this other music class that is only offered at this time as well. So you have to choose.
And that's going to get worse next semester.
Get worse.
Seriously. What?
That one just died. It's fine.
Okay.
There's a bomb.
Yeah, like I was saying, dude, like, next semester is going to be tough. Seriously, because, like, I don't even know what they're planning on doing, but it's like they're gonna make each class longer
like by 15 minutes. Or 25 minutes.
Yeah, and so now the music department has to change what they're doing, which honestly, like, there are some flaws in it, but I feel like what they're doing is the best way to do it, because, I mean, most of us usually have lunch at the same time.
Yeah.
Unless you're in, like, another specific ensemble that isn't, like, one of the major ones, like the orchestra. Or, I mean, jazz band, like, anything smaller than the jazz band, I feel like, is usually thrown in at 12.
Yeah, like any chamber groups, you're not going to be able to actually do anything.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. Well, guys, thank you very much for coming out.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chadwick.
Yeah, buddy. Alrighty.
All right. Awesome.